With a rough start to the year, the Atlantis Leviathans decided to drop Zapman, a player that years ago they picked up in order to make a Worlds run. Testing the waters without the three-time, Ronngyu, Sheento, and the rest of the Leviathans hope to use what they have learned to facilitate returning player PandaCat and lift Thor's hammer at the end of the year.
I would say when I first joined the Leviathans, all they really needed was like a voice that'd be like, do this, this, and this, and we'll win. Because they had the mechanical skill, but I would say they didn't have the confidence to believe that if they did this and this and this, they would win. That's all they needed. They needed that kind of direction. So I would say after we won, they understood how to play the game. They got that confidence, and I would say that wasn't as needed in that aspect of the game, right? Maybe they wanted now a player that can win lane better than me or anything like that. Just something different. And because we were losing a bunch, I got the short end of the stick, which happens. Like, it can happen to any team. Like, someone just gets the short end of the stick depending on the variables going on the team at that point. So, yeah, I mean, to answer the question, I don't think they needed me anymore.
Especially with Sheento and Ronngyu, like, they were still not new to the league, but they weren't as tenured as the other players. And I think having that voice of Zap on the team really lent itself to them in a good way. But now they've learned probably so much from playing the league and potentially just from Zap himself that maybe having a more consistent player, like somebody else you can play through in PandaCat, or just even having FinalK in the side lanes, they don't need Zap to call. They can do it themselves. They've grown enough, and there's 5 people that I would be confident to follow on a call on that team. So it really did. I think it was a good choice if they felt like it wasn't working out with Zap.
I thought the Levi's were bad at the start of the year. I did not think they were good. And then something changed, and I don't remember what it was, and they started doing well. I think it was as soon as they picked up PandaCat, they started doing really well. And I don't know why that changed all of their players to start owning, but it did.
When you're Panda and you're coming into a team that didn't perform as well as people might have expected in the first phase, they're looking for someone to kind of give them that little pep in their step, give them a little bit of energy. And I think Panda has been exactly what I would expect him to be. I don't think he's as dominant of an ADC as you might imagine him being in years past, like seasons 4, 5, and 6. And that's not because he's playing poorly. I just think, competition catches up to you at some point.
He did start owning. PandaCat did start owning out of nowhere. I think he was always good, but I don't know. I need wherever he's taken, because he's been absolutely dominating everyone, besides my dual lane. My dual lane's sick. But everyone else has been getting owned.
Maybe they just needed a spark somewhere on the map to really get the team going, and I think it's shown this split that you have PandaCat, who's been playing very well. You have Sheento, who's probably been the best player in the league, in my opinion anyway. And you have Kenneth, who can adapting. He always has the potential to just 1v9. That's the king right there.
They're kind of Warriors light, in my opinion. I think they have the similar playstyle as the Warriors, where they kind of want to bring it to you, outplay you, and things like that. I'm obviously very familiar with their players. Sheento's a good friend of mine, or was a good friend of mine. No, just kidding.
That team for me is kind of like Oni Warriors light, where they do have a chance to just play better than you. I think Sheento especially is kind of him at times, for sure. Just a very, very, very good player. But yeah, I think same sort of spot with the Warriors. When you're down 0-1, when your backs are against the wall, how do you respond? Who are they leaning to in that moment? I think that's the question mark for me.
They're a bit trigger happy on some plays, like objective pulls. Even if they're in an 80% probability win spot, they're yeah, we'll just rip an FG in front of 5 people, and if we get it, we get it. If we don't, GG. And it's I think maybe they take too many risks, but I think at a tournament, being a team that's willing to take risks is a good trait to have, because if you're the team forcing the other team into decisions, then you're just opening yourself up to to get into a winning spot.
This new look Leviathans have looked hot during the regular season, but will they fall into their old ways with the weight of the world stage hanging overhead?